This Week in Astrology video forecast. This is episode number 13 for the week of May 26th, 2014. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm Benjamin Bernstein of astroshaman.com, coming to you from Asheville, North Carolina. I'm an astrologer, shamanic healer, and awakening activator, and it's my pleasure to bring you these weekly astrology forecasts. So let's get into the week of May 26th overview. It's extraordinary enough to have 7 aspect patterns peaking in a single week. It's even more amazing that they all involve asteroid goddesses. Hang on to your tiara. This packed astro week also includes a Gemini new moon, 2 asteroid goddesses turning direct, and much more. So let's break it down day by day. On Monday, May 26th, we have Chiron sextile Juno. Chiron is hanging out at 17.5 Pisces, Juno is at 17.5 Taurus. Healing energy is available in your committed partnerships under this aspect. Next up, we have a T-square containing the Gemini and Sun, Virgo and Pallas Athena, and Neptune peaking today. It started on May 21st and ends on June 1st. As I said already in this forecast, beware of cunning con artists trying to pull the wool over your eyes. This T-square could inspire you to offer compassionate service with your strategic skills, feminine assertiveness, and/or practical creativity. It could also be a recipe for inspired thinking and planning. On Tuesday, May 7th, we open with Vesta turning direct. It's a good time to begin implementing any insights you've gained since March 1st when she turned retrograde regarding service to a higher cause or sacred sexuality. Speaking of Vesta, 2 potent aspect patterns featuring this asteroid goddess peak today. Both feature the most powerful components of the Cardinal Grand Cross that peaked last month. These aspect patterns open the door to revolutionary transformation in your service to a higher cause and to sacred sexuality. The first aspect pattern, and the one that lasts the longest, is a T-square featuring Vesta and the multi-year Uranus-Pluto square. This T-square started on April 25th and ends on June 25th, giving you plenty of time to work with Vesta's core themes. The second aspect pattern is a Grand Cross. It keeps the core meaning of the Vesta-Uranus-Pluto T-square while adding the amplifying power of Jupiter to take it all to the next level. It also started on April 25th but ends 3 weeks sooner than the T-square, ending on June 4th. And you know what? Why settle for 2 peaking aspect patterns in one day when you can have 3? The Juno series Chiron Yod that started on May 24th peaks today and ends on June 1st. As I wrote in my 524 forecast and spoke on this video, you can make the best use of this by focusing on how your committed partnerships are affecting your self-esteem. If you're with someone who makes you feel worse about yourself, or vice versa, this is a good time to work on healing that dysfunctional pattern. On Wednesday, May 28th, we open with Mercury sextile Venus. Mercury is at 29 degrees, 25 minutes Gemini, and Venus is at 29 degrees, 25 minutes Aries. Smooth, fluid communication is made easier under this aspect. With Venus in assertive Aries, this is a great time to connect with new people and inject fresh energy into existing partnerships. Next up, a new moon. The Gemini new moon lines up at 2:40 p.m. at 7 degrees, 21 minutes Gemini, energizing new beginnings in learning, communication, playfulness, and tricksterism. This lunation's tight square from Neptune might cause your rational thought processes to become a bit muddy at times. If so, you can call on your intuitive wisdom to fill in the gaps. A tight trine from Mars bolsters your new moon initiatives with an easy flow of initiating energy. And a moderately strong square from Pallas Athena indicates possible challenge for growth. If so, consider using Pallas Athena's core strengths, appropriate assertiveness, strategic planning, and practical creativity to master the situation. This lunation's Sabian symbol is aroused strikers surround a factory. And no, it's not that kind of aroused. This image reminds us that we don't have to put up with unfair conditions in our lives. And remember that negotiating from a place of love and respect can be more productive than resorting to threats or violence. Next up, we have the Sun square Neptune. The Sun is at 7.5 Gemini, Neptune 7.5 Pisces. In addition to its influence on the new moon, today's Sun-Neptune square can create a powerful yearning for altered states. Some will be tempted to overindulge in substances, engage in escapist behavior, drift aimlessly, or play the martyr. If they do that, you ask them, "What's the matter with you?" More life-affirming use of this aspect include engaging in spiritual union activities. My free invocations have helped many people connect with Source quickly and easily, and manifesting your creative inspiration in the physical world. If you're interested in checking out my invocations, go to astroshaman.com, and right at the top of the sidebar there is a purple banner and it says Heal and Awaken Invocations. Click that. It takes you to the section of the site where I've got articles about how to do this, MP3s where I lead you through it, and it's all free. Check it out if you're interested. Next up in this day, we have Saturn opposing Juno. Saturn is at 19 Scorpio, Juno is at 19 Taurus. A Saturn-Juno opposition may help you identify any structural challenges in your committed partnerships. Examine your relationships with a dispassionate eye to see if they support your ultimate objectives, and restructure or release as appropriate. If the relationship is already solid, this aspect can help you take it to the next level. Next up, Venus enters Taurus, a sign she rules, through June 22nd. She comes in today. This provides support for finances, material resources, and sensual indulgence. Bring on the chocolate. This placement can also be helpful for taking it easy, relationship stabilization, and multisensory creative expression. And what I mean by that is Libran creativity is more like just flat, one-dimensional art, but Taurian creativity, also ruled by Venus, says let's get 3D, let's taste it, touch it, feel it, really engage with multiple senses to have a full experience of it. That's the difference between Taurian creativity and Libran. Mercury enters Cancer on May 29th, turns retrograde on June 7th, and then re-enters Gemini on June 16th. Rather than focusing on worries and insecurities while Mercury is in Cancer, place your attention on nurturing thoughts and compassionate communication. Next up, the kite involving Juno, Jupiter, Saturn, and Chiron that started on May 18th peaks today and ends on June 4th. Any issues arising in your committed partnerships, be they romantic or platonic, can be more easily healed while this 4-point aspect pattern is active. We have no significant events on Friday 30th, so we're going to move right along to Saturday, May 31st. And our first event is the Sun trine Mars. The Sun is 10 Gemini and Mars is 10 Libra. Learning, communication, relating, and creativity are all smoothly energized as the Gemini and Sun trines Libra and Mars. That was easy. Next up, Jupiter sextile Juno, and Jupiter is hanging around 20 Cancer and Juno is around 20 Taurus. This aspect is part of the Juno, Jupiter, Saturn, Chiron kite that peaked on May 29th. We talked about that a moment ago. So listen back to that interpretation or watch it to understand this aspect in its larger context. Welcome to June. Sunday, June 1st, we have Ceres, the asteroid goddess, turning direct. She's been retrograde since February 27th. If you've been reflecting on themes such as abundance, fertility, harvest, release, and return, that's release and return all as one concept, or mother-daughter relationships, this is a good time to begin implementing your insights. Next up, two related aspect patterns featuring the asteroid goddess Ceres peak today. These interpretations are slightly modified from the ones I did on the May 8th forecast. The longer lasting aspect pattern is a T-square, a geometrical right angle. It's a 90 and a couple of 45s, I guess. With Ceres temporarily stimulating the multi-year Uranus-Pluto square. This Ceres Uranus-Pluto T-square focuses the energy of revolutionary transformation into the themes of abundance, self-esteem, mother-daughter relationships, and release and return. It actually has two peaks. One is today. There are again two peaks. One today as Ceres stations direct, and another one will come on June 13th, and the whole thing will be over on June 20th. Now, the second peaking aspect pattern adds Jupiter to this Ceres Uranus-Pluto T-square, and they all form a grand cross, a big old square in the sky. 3 of these planets are members of the cardinal grand cross that peaked on April 22nd. The key difference is that Ceres is the 4th planet instead of Mars. The meaning of this Ceres Jupiter-Uranus-Pluto grand cross is fundamentally the same as the Ceres Uranus-Pluto T-square. Jupiter's presence amplifies this aspect pattern's power and adds a sense of hope, joy, and enthusiasm. Jupiter's placement in Cancer reiterates the theme of revolutionary transformation within the family, piggybacking on Ceres' resonance with mother-daughter relationships. The Ceres Jupiter-Uranus-Pluto Grand Cross started on May 8th and will wrap up on June 4th. Let me also throw in a little erratum here. Last week on the video forecast, I made a mistake in identifying a yod. I said it was a yod with Juno, Chiron, and Pallas Athena. I was wrong. It was Juno, Chiron, and Vesta. So my apologies. That was on the April 20th. The interpretation was right. I wrote the interpretation with Vesta in mind, and somehow I substituted Pallas Athena for Vesta. And wanted to just note that I corrected that online and am now modifying it here on the video. So what's coming up on next week's video forecast, the week of June 2nd? The headline will definitely be Mercury turning retrograde. We'll tell you all about that. The Sun's going to make 4 aspects. It's going to quincunx Pluto and Saturn, sextile Uranus and square Chiron. Venus is going to sextile Neptune, quincunx Mars, and trine Pluto. And we have a teeny little aspect pattern with Venus, Pallas Athena, and Pluto that's going to run for about a week. A couple of very brief announcements. I'm recording this on Thursday and we'll post it either tonight or Friday. And Friday, May 23rd, is the beginning of the Wise Wolf Council that Kimberly Crow and myself are co-teaching at, along with many other shamanic teachers. It's an hour west of Asheville, and it's a whole weekend of really cool shamanic stuff for very, very little money. So if that interests you, you can learn more at astroshaman.com. It is the top thing right now in the What's New section near the top of the page. And that's actually the only announcement. I fooled you. Just one. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my Benjamin Bernstein YouTube channel to be notified when I post new videos. And if you like this video, please share it. This free video forecast is a partner project with iTunes' #1 astrology audio podcast, This Week in Astrology, which is also free. You can get my weekly astrology forecast in writing by subscribing to my free email newsletter at astroshaman.com. Once you're there, you can also link to my Facebook page and Twitter feed, where I post daily forecasts. My personal services include astrology, shamanic healing, and awakening activation. All are equally effective in person or long distance. My guarantee makes my services risk-free. If you don't find them helpful, there's no charge. I also offer other great products and services, many of which are free. To learn more, visit astroshaman.com. Thanks again for watching. I wish you infinite blessings as the stars light your way.